Richmond International Raceway, where it's been hot and sunny all day through 3 hours of practice. Who has it dialed in best? For NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying, presented by Subway. It's been a picture-perfect day, a little on the warm side, and that's nice to see here in Richmond. 85 degrees, a light breeze, sunny, and no rain in the forecast for this evening or for tomorrow night. That's good news for the Heath Calhoun 400. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, Darrell Waltrip. As we look toward qualifying, do you like somebody with a late draw, a Jeff Gordon or a Clint Boyer, perhaps? Or somebody else stand out for this pole run? Well, I think we can always pick the favorites, you know, the guys that qualify up front. But I think like we've seen at some of the other short tracks, there's always those surprises. Who would have thought A.J. Allmendinger would have won the pole at Phoenix? If you get the right air pressure and the right tires and you go at the right time, it might all work out for you.
Well, and I think that's one reason, you know, we have surprises in these type of qualifying sessions because, Mike, you mentioned it. We had 3 hours of practice right in the heat of the day. Now the sun's starting to go down. It's starting to get twilight. And I don't know that we know who is the real favorite to sit on this pole. Yeah, Kyle Busch was fastest in practice. He just qualified his Nationwide Series car on the pole for that race later on tonight. You would tend to think he may be the favorite, but I like Phoenix. I think we'll have a little bit of a surprise.
When the sun goes down, the speeds go up.
All right, let's join Dick Berggren.
With Joey Logano, who was third quick in practice, how about it? Is tonight's pole belong to you?
It could happen. I was talking to the guys in the trailer before I came out here, and this track seems to pick up a lot of speed when it comes to qualifying, and track temp went down a little bit, I'm sure. So we're going to see if we can find a little bit more speed with the Home Depot Toyota. We were third quick in practice, so I think the car is good. I just got to find a little bit more. In race trim, the car is good too. So it's got a decent starting position. I think we got a shot at the pole, so we'll go for it and see what we turn out with. Good deal.
Krista Voda.
Martin Truex, it's a tale of two Napas. Qualifying versus race trim, how's your car?
Well, it's like you said, we were really pretty happy with our Napa Toyota and race trim. We ran some really good laps. The car had good speed and seemed to hold on, and on the lap tracker it looks real good. But we went to qualifying trim and it just really couldn't get the car hooked up, couldn't get the front end turning, and so we struggled with that a little. But Pat's made some changes, and usually the track picks up a good bit of speed here from practice, so we'll just hope we can pick up enough.
Thanks, Martin.
A.J. Allmendinger, the Valvoline 4, to be the first qualifier on track, brushed the wall during practice. This will be his 7th Richmond appearance.
Didn't hurt the car too bad. They got it back out pretty quickly, but he certainly wasn't very happy about getting into the wall that little bit.
Yeah, he was 8th quickest in the first practice, and then he was 17th quickest when final practice was all said and done. First lap, there it is, 21:53. So already A.J. Allmendinger on lap 1 is almost 2/10 quicker than the fastest speed of those 2 hour-and-a-half practice sessions.
His best previous start here, 13th. That was the first time he came here when he was with the Red Bull Toyota team. Second lap is quicker. That's what we expect almost every car to be, with a 21:46 for Allmendinger. Here's our Toyota Sponsifier track description of the 3/4 mile Richmond International Raceway with a fairly steep 14-degree banking.
Yeah, the steep banking in the corner, certainly on the straightaways a little bit, down the back 2 degrees, but look at that back straightaway. I mean, that's just a blurb. You come off turn 2, you're in the throttle for about a second, and then you're in the third turn.
And you're turning the wheel almost the entire way around. There's just a little bit of straight back straightaway like you're talking about.
Not much chance to rest on this racetrack. It is a very tiring racetrack, believe it or not, even though it's small.
18 Richmond starts for Kurt Busch. 1 victory. It came in his last drive here for Jack Roush. 6 top 10 finishes, 4 in the last 6 races in the Blue Deuce.
He was 8th quickest in that final practice session. Made a practice qualifying very late in the practice. See what he can do on
like
lap
the way
1.
that thing looked. I know one. He was eating that bottom up.
57 on his first lap.
Not quite as quick as A.J. Allmendinger was on his first lap.
Kurt comes in here 7th in the points. Whoa, wobbled there.
Yeah. He got up off the bottom and got back on the throttle. Maybe just a little too quick. Got the car up the hill a little bit. Got a little loose.
He picked the throttle up good, though, off of turn 4 that time, and I think it's going to be good enough. No. 4 1/1000ths of a second slower than A.J. Allmendinger.
And here's why.
I know where he lost it. He gets back in the throttle a little early, gets the car pushing up the hill. He tries to, stay in it, obviously, but that little wiggle is what cost him.
Very well could be those 4 1,000ths.
That little wiggle looked like Jamie McMurray last Sunday at Talladega.
Just a little wiggle.
That little wiggle.
That's all it takes.
Now here's a dude who's pretty fast in practice after overhauling his race car.
David Rudiman in the Aaron's Toyota. This will be his 7th race at Richmond. He gained 3 spots in the points to 27th last week with his 14th place finish in Talladega.
I think he was thinking about just leasing this car when he got here, but after a while working on it, he decided he'd buy it.
So it's a rent to own?
Yeah, rent
deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah, he just wanted to give it away in that first practice session. But this looks like a pretty good first lap for David.
You got that right.
How about 21:32 on that's on lap 1?
Right to the top of the board.
Rudy Tooty.
We have 46 cars here, which means there's 11 in knockout qualifying and no past champion for the 8 positions available.
There he is sailing that thing off in the corner, especially the 3rd turn there. He really poured it in there.
But no quicker. He is 4 1,000 slower than his first lap.
2 real good laps, so.
Dick Berggren.
Dinger, did the shunt with the wall affect the behavior of the car?
No, I mean, everybody worked hard on the Valvoline Ford today. It was a tough day for us. We were struggling. There was times we thought we were really good, and there was times we thought we were a little bit off. And you know, I didn't help the race team by getting the wall. So they worked hard. Sorry to those guys and everybody for making them work too hard. And we'll see. The track had a lot of grip. I didn't get everything out of the lap. I messed up just a little bit. So if that's in the top 20, I'll be happy with it.
All right, good deal. Thanks.
Greg Biffle in 3M Ford, 3rd in the standings, 15 Richmond races, and 1 pole, 3 front row starts here.
Daryl, that's probably one negative to going early. It's not the lack of grip that the track might have or not have. It's not knowing how much it really does have, like AJ just alluded to.
Yeah, some of these early teammates go out. They can come back in and talk to their teammates and say, you know, track had a lot of grip. Maybe a little air out of a tire, a little air in a tire can really make a huge difference in qualifying.
Looks like Biffle's going to miss it by about 3/10 here. 21.60 the first lap. The second lap is slower. So Biffle 4th of 4 with Paul Menard and Regan Smith coming up. Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Richmond is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 footlong subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. And brought to you by Honda Generators, the power of choice. And by the Sponsifier. Visit ToyotaRacing.com and click on Design It, enter it. Paul Menard dropped 1 spot in the standings to 19th after Talladega. He was one of 25 cars involved in one of the wrecks there. And this will be his 7th trip to Richmond.
Yeah, he has struggled these last 3 races after having all top 20 finishes in the first 6 races of 2010. Not sure this qualifying run is going to be exactly what he's looking for either.
Sometimes, Larry, you know, when you have the off season, you can get all your stuff, all your ducks in a row, and you come out strong. But the way this schedule is laid out, when you want to hit into that racing every week and testing and everything else, sometimes it takes its toll on your results on Sunday.
So Menard is 4th of 5 with a 21.59. Dick?
David Rudiman, 2nd quick in practice. Right now on top of the board, but when I said congratulations, you looked up at the sky. What's on your mind?
Well, it's just, you know, that big ball in the sky there is going to get a little lower and going to give it a little bit of shade, and the track's just going to pick up. And, you know, this place is really temperature sensitive. But proud of my guys. They gave me a great air and stream machine. And we just have to see, you know, we had an early draw. We just have to see where it ends up putting us.
David Rudiman began his big league NASCAR career right here at Richmond, and he has run well today.
Thanks, Dick. Regan Smith, the Furniture Row Chevy, 2008 Rookie of the Year. His best qualifying effort this year, 20th at Bristol. This is his 4th race at Richmond.
Felt so bad for him last week at Talladega. He actually had a good little race car, led some laps, and then the engine expired on his 78 car.
Where you really make the time around this racetrack is right there. Getting up out of turn 2, getting out of that hole, coming up on that back straightaway under power and not get the back end snapping out on you. That's where you really make a lot of good time.
If he used all of his up on lap 1, he's 4th quickest at a 21.56. Slows down just a little bit on lap 2.
Well, that's interesting, Darrell. 3 drivers have their best lap on the second lap, 3 on the first lap. Worry on that just a little as we go to Kristen.
Well, walking along with teammates Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, and if I can squeeze in here, I know Denny's whole goal last night was that you did not win his charity event. So how mad is he going to be if you get the pole here today?
I don't know. I don't think he'd be too upset. He's got a good car too, so we'll see. But our M&M's Camry's been good so far today, and look forward to trying to go and try to get another pole here. But we'll see how hard it's going to be with what kind of lap times are being put up.
Thanks, Kyle.
Mark Martin in the HendrickCars.com number 5 has been racing at Richmond since 1981, when he started from the pole in his first ever Cup race here.
Mark was always been a good qualifier, and particularly on the short tracks.
Yeah, I think in '81 he ran about 4 or 5 races and sat on a couple of poles, I think, that year out of the 4 or 5 races he started.
And those were his own cars, built them himself.
Right. Remember, he raced 81, 2, and 3, and then was out of the sport for 4 years before coming back with Jack Roush in 1988.
Crew chief was Banjo Graham, I think his name was.
That's right.
Young kid.
First lap was a 21:52, picks it up about a half a tenth, makes him second quickest at 21:45.
Very nice.
Mark has 4 poles here, including his 49th career pole.
Car was pretty good. Did some wiggling, but you did an awesome job with it.
Always cheerleading after a qualifying run, especially. Normally he's pretty fast.
So as 2 of the Gibbs teammates look on, here's driver 88. Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a good practice in the National Guard Chevrolet. And he has 1 front row start here in 21 appearances.
Exciting announcement yesterday over Dale Earnhardt Day at DEI. Dale's birthday, and they announced he's going to run the 3-car with Wrangler at Daytona in the nationwide race. Big deal, man.
Yes, it will. Darrell, what I saw with this run here, his car just was kind of in a 4-wheel slide through 1 and 2, and I think the tracker pretty much reflects it. 21:71 on that first lap.
Got his work cut out on this lap. Sometimes slide around like that, the air pressure builds up and you just go slower.
Just didn't get a good drive off too, Darrell.
Nope, that's a killer corner.
Yeah, he's working on being the slowest of our 8 cars. Got off turn 4, and that definitely picked him up quite a bit to a 21:54, just enough to bump him up to 5th.
Coming up, Martin Truex, Joey Logano. David Rudem and Mark Martin quickest so far as the Napa Toyota for Martin Truex Jr. hits the track. 15th in the standings. He gained 2 spots at Talladega and has 5 top 8 starts here in 8 Richmond races.
Car was really slow through the center of 1 and 2 on that first lap. It just didn't want to turn. Right in there, the car just gets really slow, like he can't get the front end to grip.
Much better this time. Eases it into 3 a bit.
Going to pick back up a little bit here.
A little bit's a lot right now.
Playing
Strong
around
off the corner. 6th with a 21:54.
He picked up a half a tenth, picked up about 3 spots.
21:54 right there.
So Truex is 6th. And here is Joey Logano in the Home Depot Toyota. Finished in the top 10 in both of his nationwide starts at Richmond. Finished top 20 in both of his Cup races in his rookie season last year. Pole winner at Bristol. Led 9 laps at Talladega, but got caught up and dropped to 16th in the points.
Sounded fast when he went by here, I can tell you that.
He was very confident when we talked to him about this car. He was 3rd quickest in that final practice. I don't think it's going to come close on lap 1. We'll have to see what happens on lap 2. 21:63, that puts him, or 57 puts him 8th quickest.
See what kind of air pressure Zippy put him out there on. If you put that pressure down just a little wee bit, that first lap won't be all that great. Kind of hoping that car will come in on the second one. Let's see if it does or not.
It's going to be better than lap 1, but it will not be a pole run. He's going to go to 5th quickest to a 53.
Travis Kvapil and Matt Kenseth are next. Tonight on Speed, the incredible story of Junior Johnson, NASCAR Hall of Fame inductee, who went from moonshine runner to become one of NASCAR's greatest. Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. NASCAR Hall of Fame biography, Junior Johnson. Travis Kvapil in the Long John Silver's Ford, 2173. Slowest of the 11 drivers thus far. Krista?
Well, a lot of folks are probably doing backflips when they see this retro Budweiser look, including DW up in the booth. Talk about your paint scheme today, Casey.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to run. This is a paint scheme from the 1985 Budweiser Darrell Waltrip championship year. So it was, it's pretty cool to do it on our Budweiser Ford, and Darrell won here that year at Richmond. So hopefully we can run well. We're a little bit off in practice, ended up 12th, and made a few more changes. So we'll see how this goes. We got a pretty decent draw. Hopefully it'll work out for us.
All right, thanks, DW. I know you think it looks good, right?
I really do. Chris, I always loved that hood on that car with the big bud on the hood. You could look back in the field, and whether we're leading or back in the field a bit, you could always pick her out. I like that.
Matt Kenseth, 4th in the standings, 5th on the board after that first lap. Has one top 10 start this year. That was at Bristol.
Oh, now. Whoop. See, you had it going on there for a second, but then got a little tail happy.
That's an awfully good first lap for Matt.
A strong second lap. Is it quicker? 21.504. Not quite. Kevin Conway and Jamie McMurray coming up next. Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Richmond brought to you by Toro. Count on it. By New Finish Cling Instant Detailer, the shine that sticks. And by Tornadoes. Bold is how we roll. Lynchburg's Kevin Conway in the Extends Ford, running at the end of all of his 8 races in 2010, and he is 13th of 13, a 22-22 on both laps.
Getting that good seat time, Larry. He's learning. He's a rookie. He's getting there.
And I'd say, based on the first 9 races, he will be running at the end of this race tomorrow night.
And I say by the second time we go around in the series, I think he'll be a little bit better.
Jamie McMurray, the Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boat Chevrolet. 17th in the standings with that runner-up finish at Talladega. He gained 3 spots. 14 Richmond races. Never has he led a lap here.
I remember him having a really good run in the Nationwide Series car about the time that Chip Ganassi hired him the first go-around to go over there.
Had a very bad first turn on that first lap. Let's see if he can crowd her up a little bit here. Lost a lot of time getting down into turn 1.
But I tell you what he did. He let that thing roll through the middle in 1 and 2, and then when he picked it up, he was able to stay in it hard.
Yeah, I think he just overdrove it the first time in there. He's much better this time. Let's see what he does.
Rudiman's a 21.32. McMurray, second, 21.40.
You know, Darrell, we were talking at commercial break. I believe you can run a low 40 and be in good shape. You run a high 50, you're going to be way back there.
Rudiman's got about a 10th on there, but let's just 21, 40, 45, 46, 46, 52, 53, 54, 54, 59, 59. That's the top 10.
For all your NASCAR news, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 p.m., it's NASCAR Race Hub right here on Speed. You never know who's going to stop by, so why don't you? Kevin Harvick, the Talladega winner with one of the most perfectly timed moves in the history of motorsport.
It's kind of ironic that there were 29 lead changes.
29 leaders.
Leaders, yeah. And he was the 20.
And there were
one of the 29.
A Dale Jr. number of lead changes.
Yes.
Going to be a pretty good first lap for Kevin Harvick. He's second quickest at a 21.40. You know, I don't think we've given Kevin enough credit for everything he's done. Of course, one of them is going to come to an end this weekend. He's not going to be in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at Kansas. But right now, as we speak, he's in the top 5 in points in all 3 of the top series.
He's had a whale of a start to this season, that's for sure.
Second lap is a tick slower, a 55 to a 40. So it's Rudiman, Harvick, McMurray, and Mark Martin. Coming up, Brad Kay and Denny Hamlin. Brad Keselowski will be the 16th driver to take time in the Penske Dodge. 4 straight finishes of 16th or better before Talladega, where he wound up 34th.
Pretty sporty looking lap here too.
Second.
Oh, yeah.
38.
Rudimann's getting a little nervous now. That's a 38 to his 32. They're inching closer to him.
That knocks Harvick off by 2/100ths.
Got a little loose off too, Larry.
And that hurt him down that back straightaway.
Darrell asked earlier, and we had to go to the pits, but now the 3 fastest drivers, including Keselowski, have each had their fastest lap on the first lap. Most everybody else on the second lap. What's up?
I just think that most drivers are trained, and you train yourself to get all you can on that first one. The second one's an insurance lap.
And don't forget, could be, you mentioned it, maybe the different air pressures that the teams are going with.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. How much air is in the tires? They leave any room for them to expand a little bit.
Dick?
Jamie McMurray, fastest in the very first practice session today, 4th on the board at this point. How about tomorrow? That's where the money is.
Well, our Bass Pro Shop Chevy was it was good in practice. I thought race trim wise, that's what most guys did the first practice. I thought we were one of the better cars. And this hasn't been really a very good track for me, so the fact that we were fastest in that practice and we're pretty good in qualifying means they've given me a really good car. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's been a really fun week going turkey hunting and fishing with Johnny Morris and all the guys from Bass Pro Shops. So to have a good run would be great.
Good deal. Thank you.
Denny Hamlin, the hometown hero in the FedEx number 11 from Joe Gibbs Racing, 8 Richmond starts. He's had 2 wins and 4th place finishes in the last 4 races on the circuit, and he's up to 9th in the Sprint Cup standings.
Yeah, they just never got where they needed to be in practice. He was 21st in one practice, and I think in the other practice, finally, he was 41st quickest.
They made a change on this car. They made a few laps, and the car was up in the top 10 or so of times early in practice. They made some change on this car, and they never did get it back.
13th right now, so Hamlin will start pretty deep in this field. Krista?
Well, somebody with lots of reasons to smile right now, Elliott Sadler, back in his home state of Virginia, and it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Got a gift for us out here in this qualifying lap?
I hope so. That'd be a cool happy birthday gift, but it is neat being here in Richmond for my birthday because my whole family's with me. It's my son's first race, so he's sharing it here with us this weekend. Of course, my brother's racing tonight, and we got a cool Reynolds Wrap paint scheme on. I think the car looks great. And they're from here in Richmond, so it's a neat kind of time that's all together tonight for the birthday.
We're glad Wyatt's here. Thanks.
And Wyatt is his infant son. And here's Kyle Busch. Just won the pole for the nationwide race. He said he would have to drive a very different lap in this car to win this pole.
He was the fastest in practice at a 21.70. 21.70 will put you way back right now.
6th with a 46 on lap 1.
Remember, he just got out of that nationwide car. It might take that first lap for him to get comfortable in this car.
Tell you what, though, he's looking pretty good. He's got a little bit of he's got over a 10th cushion coming off. I mean, this is going to be down in the 20s, it looks like.
This is bad fast. 21-24. Kyle Busch to the top of the chart.
Very good. Just want to say a happy birthday to my brother Michael Curtis, inducted into the Kentucky Athletic State Hall of Fame on Wednesday night, and happy birthday today, bro.
Tell you what, he joins a pretty elite club. I think Tubby Smith, a Kentucky coach, a lot of neat people in that Hall of Fame.
Now, there are only a few race drivers, me, Danny Sullivan, and I think now Michael.
Casey Kane, David Reagan on trackside tonight. You'll see it at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Speed.
Muhammad Ali is in that Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, I was inducted. That was in '98. He was inducted. He'd been inducted in the Hall of Fame before, but he got Athlete of the Century when I was inducted in '98. So I was there that night. Awesome night.
Is Secretariat also in that Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Here's Carl Edwards in the Scotts number 99. 8th at Bristol is his best 2010 start, and he is just outside the chase right now in 13th position in the Sprint Cup standings.
And I don't think they ever did really find what they were looking for in that practice earlier as well. First lap 21.55. He'll slow down a little bit right now. 13th of the 19 cars.
Just unbelievable. The fortunes of his car and actually the Roush cars in general, that they just off just that little wee bit. It's got to be frustrating.
Dick Berggren with the fastest man in Richmond.
Well, he was also the fastest man in practice in the Cup Series on the pole, the nationwide deal. So what is going on here with you running up front and everything you're trying?
That's what I'm supposed to do, Dick, right? That's the plan anyway. So, well, there's some good cars still coming, you know, but great job by the whole M&M's Camry team. I mean, these guys do a great job every week, and Dave's getting a lot better. These guys keep it going, so, you know, I got to do my part on the racetrack. I was a little worried the first lap didn't come in quite the way I wanted it to, but then the second lap it really got going. So proud of these guys. Hopefully it'll stick. If not, be a good spot.
No question about it. In this team, the driver matters a lot. A lot.
Thanks, Dick. Now watch the tracker on Montoya. Really drove it hard in one, but the ex-road racer really gets off the corner and down the straightaway well.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there. He got out of two really smooth, and the back stayed underneath the car. If he can pick it up quick here, lost a little time there.
Not as good off 4 as it was off 2.
Yeah, 100th slower on lap 2, 21:48, ninth fastest for Montoya, who comes in here 20th in the Sprint Cup standings.
In case you didn't understand, he does not like his car.
Terrible.
His car was just horrible.
Casey Kane.
Come on, Casey.
In that retro Budweiser scheme. It's a Richard Petty Ford, not a Junior Johnson Chevrolet, but if you squint just hard enough and the light is right, when that big Bud's coming at you, looks familiar.
It is. It's really a great tribute, not to just me as a driver, but to Hammond as the crew chief, Junior as the owner, Junior Johnson going in the Hall of Fame a couple of weeks. It's a nice tribute.
As Casey pointed out, it's a tribute to 1985, one of your championship seasons, and a race that you won during that season right here.
Well, I don't think this first lap's going to be what Casey's looking for at all. Now, he was 12th quickest in final practice, did it right late in that session, 21:56. That's 15th for this 9 car so far.
He's going to pick it up, Larry.
Got some work to do through turns 3 and 4. Picked up the throttle pretty good right there, and that's definitely going to help his cause.
That'll make a difference. Kane climbs to 11th with a 21:52, identical to Matt Kenseth's lap.
Yeah, he picked up 4 100ths and picked up about 5 spots because we have so many cars in those 50s.
No, I'm sorry, it was identical to Kenseth's second lap. Kenseth's first lap was a couple hundredths quicker. Krista?
Well, this is not one of Tony Stewart's favorite tracks. This is his favorite track. I know you talked about a tight condition at the end of that last practice session. Were you guys able to fix that, and how are you for your qualifying run?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been in it after the end of the last practice, so.
Did it feel better when you went back out there? How about that?
We're getting there. It's you know, Darian and these guys, we actually did a test last week, and I think that's helped us this week, and Darian's got it rotating better. So you know, we'll see where we are for qualifying, but we're definitely going to do something different for tomorrow than we've done here in the past. But you know, we had a good car here last year. Here, I think we ran second to Mark, so we were fast. So we'll see what's happening.
All right, thanks, Tony.
A little cautious optimism on Stewart's part. Scott Speed, we talk about how Phoenix is similar to this track. He qualified second at Phoenix, his best Sprint Cup start.
Picked up a little time on this lap. Car looks like it's just a little bit out. On the back end, it's a little tail happy.
Through 3 and 4 pretty good that time. It's going to be a pretty good pickup and a pretty good run. 6th quickest at a 21:45.
Excellent. He's the 3rd quickest Toyota behind Busch and Rudeman, who have the front row right now. Brian Vickers, Robbie Gordon next. Brian Vickers completing the first of his 2 laps. This will be his 12th trip to Richmond. And he has 2 front row starts here, 2 poles.
Yeah, qualifying's been pretty good to Brian here, but as far as racing, he did finish 7th last September, but if you remember, that catapulted him into the chase. But if his 11 starts here, 8 finishes of 24th or worse for Brian.
I remember after the race when he got into the chase, he said, "Boys, thank you so much. I've never had a car that good here," and he got his best finish ever here.
Well, he beats his teammate Scott Speed by 4 100ths, so they are 6th and 7th. 2 teammates and best friends. You wouldn't have thought so leaving Talladega, but Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson have talked it over, along with car owner Rick Hendrick. Everything is fine at the top of Hendrick Motorsports.
I mean, I feel pretty safe in saying that one of the things Rick told those 2 boys is, you know what, I know you 2 guys can handle it. We got 120-something guys in those shops working on your 2 race cars. It's going to start bleeding down into them. Let's put this behind us and move forward.
What Rick told him was, I don't care about the replays. I don't care who cut who off. I don't care what happened yesterday. Don't let it happen tomorrow. End of story.
Good point. Here is Robbie Gordon, who is safe this week. He is in the race because he's in the top 35 by what? 2 points. He and David Gilliland keep going back and forth for that 35th position, but Robbie is there, and he's making his 20th trip to Richmond.
Not a very good first lap, 21.90 for Robbie, and this second lap's not going to do a whole lot more for him. Might pick it up a little bit, goes to 22nd, picked up 2.5 tenths, but only a spot or two.
Felt good. I don't know what it ran, but felt okay.
The BAM VIP Toyota for Robbie Gordon in the show. Tomorrow, NASCAR Race Day roars into Richmond, and on the show, Denny Hamlin, Clint Boyer, and Mark Martin live and reliving Kevin Harvick's emotional Talladega win. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, live tomorrow only on Speed, 5 p.m. Eastern. Elliott Sadler in that Reynolds wrap, pink and blue number 19, making his 23rd Richmond start. The best of which came for Robert Yates Racing in 2005 when he started in row 3.
Yeah, Elliott really struggled in practice. He was 32nd in one practice, and 34th in final practice. First lap not going to be very good for Elliott. 21.87. His teammate A.J. Allmendinger right now, who was the first car out, hanging there just inside the top 10 at 9th.
Allmendinger with a 21.46.
Got Casey 13th there, so
Tell you what, Elliott got through 3 and 4 and stayed in the throttle hard, and it helped him quite a bit on lap 2.
yeah, jumped him up to 15th. Nice move.
Another 50, 21.53.
They're up and down to the 40s and 50s. That's it.
Well, Darrell, actually, McMurray is 5th at a 21.40. Paul Menard is 21st at a 21.59. Less than 2 tenths.
David Reagan in the UPS Ford climbed 4 spots in the standings to 22nd after Talladega. This is his 7th trip to Richmond, where he has a couple of top 5s in the Nationwide Series.
And Larry, these guys constantly talk about track position, track position, track position. Certainly pit road selection helps you with that track position, but it seems like if you can start out up front and you got a pretty good pit stall, you stay up front.
Well, we've already taped our trackside show. It's going to air at 11 o'clock tonight, and Casey Kane's on there. He won his first race here when he sat on the pole, and he said all we had to do is have a decent pit stop each stop, and we just won the battle every time off pit road at that end pit box.
David Reagan looked like he had some pickup going into 1 and deep into 3, but you see the give back coming off the corner. He may pick up a spot from 24th here with this lap. He does 21.65. Krista?
Jimmy Johnson in his race car, and do you know how many flash bulbs were popping and that when you were talking there to Jeff Gordon? What were you guys talking about? How was that phone call this week for Mr. Hendrick?
All is good. I mean, it's amazing how much clear everyone can think on a Tuesday after something like that happens. And truthfully, it was an accident or misjudgment on my behalf, closing rate that he had. So everything's fine, and we had a little fun with it. And we should have thrown some hunches or something. Would have been a little.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, would have been cool. But actually, we're tired of all the stuff that's gone with it. So we'll let it move on, and hopefully we don't run into each other again anytime soon.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Interesting that he says how much clearer things look on Tuesday. Tuesday is also NASCAR penalty day. They let things kind of settle and simmer for a day and a half, and then they have their meeting on penalties and infractions on Tuesdays, not right after the race. That's probably a good thing.
Well, what do we do on Tuesdays? We have our conference calls. Also, we get the video, we get the CD of the race. So you can sit down and analyze a lot clearer what happened and what caused something once you get that video and start to watch it a little bit. I think that's where that's coming from.
Good lap for Jeff Burton, his 32nd trip in a Cup car to Richmond, capital city of his home state, and he's going to be 11th with a 21.47.
Not much of a pickup from lap 1 to lap 2, but you picked up several spots.
Solid.
Not much pickup today, Larry, but a whale of a pickup from over last year.
Yes.
We were always observing with Jeff Burton, if they could just qualify better, he would be a contender because he qualified very poor. This year, not the case at all. Fastest in a lot of places.
Ryan Newman in the U.S. Army Medicine Chevrolet. 10 top 10 finishes in 16 Richmond starts. And he's 18th in the standings.
Krista interviewed him during one of our practice sessions. Brand new car for Stuart Haas's 39 car here this weekend. Working on a pretty sporty first lap with this 39 car.
There, I heard one of the crew chiefs of one of the children's cars said that they roll out a new car every 3rd week.
Wow.
So now don't let that get back to Richard. It would be good if he knew that, but that's what they do.
4th for Newman. He misses 3rd by 0.5 1/100th.
And that's about the 3rd quickest first lap.
He's looking for more.
We got in that throttle hard. I don't think it's going to quite be a pole, but she's going to be a good one.
Moves to the inside of row 2. 21.387 to Brad Keselowski's 21.388. 1/1000th decides that spot. Got your pin on. Here's Marcus Ambrose. Bush's Baked Beans, Kingsford Charcoal Camry. 11 points behind where he was at this stage of 2009. That is after 9 races. Talladega accident was his 3rd DNF of the year.
You know, we'd always try to qualify. We would want to be on the inside for the start of the race. Didn't want to be caught up on that outside. Boy, how that thinking has changed.
Yes, many tracks.
Picks it up a little bit inside the top 15 to 21.49. Puts Marco's 14th quickest right now.
Matter of fact, we used to make deals with the guy on the inside of you. If you'll just back off and let me in, then when we get on the back straightaway or first time by, I'll move over and let you go back around. Because you just didn't feel comfortable charging off in the corner on the outside.
Tony Stewart, the Office Depot Old Spice Chevy. Tony had the first of his 37 Cup wins come here in the fall of 1999. You know, it's not June yet. Maybe it's just not time for him to win yet. It's one of those late blooming flowers every spring, or so it seems. Not that Tony would want to be compared to a flower.
Yeah, go back to last year. It was the All-Star race.
That's right.
That catapulted those guys into the summer months.
Okay, mid-May. Yeah. Let's say mid-May. Well, it's mid-May almost.
They made a change on that car. Remember, Krista was talking to him, and they put a right rear spring in the car. I know that when he went back out after that change, he didn't run as well. So see how he ends up here with this setup he's got now.
Boy, way better on the second lap.
Yeah, 21.78 on lap 1. He's flirting inside the top 10. If he gets off, didn't quite get off turn 4 that great, but he's going to end up 13th quickest at a 21.48. Picked up 3/10 on his second lap.
Dick Berggren.
With Ryan Newman, 3rd quick on the board so far. How much better is the car in that qualifying run than it was when you first unloaded today?
Actually, not a whole lot better. We unloaded pretty good with the Army Medicine Chevrolet, and just watching the boss qualify there, but we were pretty good in race trim, and we actually got some traffic in our qualifying lap, so I didn't expect to be 18th where we were, but didn't know if we had a shot at getting Kyle there, so good run for the Army Medicine Chevrolet.
Okay, thank you.
Sam Hornish looking for his first top 25 start at Richmond in the Mobil 1 Dodge. He picked up 1 spot in the points at Talladega, comes in here 28th.
It's a good racetrack for Sam last year. He had top 10 finishes in both the races here in 2009. Sam was 24th in the first practice, 33rd in final practice in his 77 car. He's got teammates right now, Keselowski 4th and Kurt Busch 11th.
And he's got some work to do with a 79 on lap 1.
Stepping it up this lap. Getting into 3 just a little low, but it doesn't seem like it's. This is where it's hurting him. Gets in there a little low, has to pinch that corner off.
Well, still, he picks up about 7 spots, 22nd with a 21.55.
Yeah, I think if he could have backed turn 3 up just a little bit, he would have paid better dividends coming off the corner.
Yeah, I think if he'd have stayed out a little wider, floated down in there out of the throttle, I think he'd have been a little quicker. But he looked like he charged in there on the bottom and hurt him on exit at 4.
What's the temptation, Darrell? If you don't get everything off turn 1 and 2, is it to just pile it in there in turn 3 and get it back?
Once you lose time somewhere and you know it, you start trying to make it up everywhere, and you just make it worse. You know, you got to remember, sometimes you have to slow down to go faster. This car really likes you to drive it that way. I bet this will be a pretty daggone good run.
Jeff Gordon, 35th trip to Richmond. 10 top 10 starts in a row. A couple of 4 poles here. He's 10th in points.
Didn't like the way it looked there.
And he was well inside the top 10 in both those practice sessions. Car way up the racetrack. Almost had to diamond it down in 3 and 4.
Looked like it had too much front brake, almost like it slid the front tires.
28th on lap 1.
Now, see, a driver like Jeff Gordon, whatever that car's doing, he will quickly adjust his driving style to complement the car.
I tell you what, he drove it down into 1 and 2, and it stuck. He was able to keep that momentum. This is going to be a great pickup.
Not bad, not bad.
Third, 21:36.
Nice pickup, buddy.
Yeah.
Nice pickup. Had me nervous running.
3/10.
Fastest Chevrolet.
Had everybody nervous.
Especially after that first lap.
Yeah, I think that was just, again, I think that might have been a product of air pressure, a little low maybe, or than some, and maybe a little too much brake getting in the corner, but he backed it up.
Now, we have 3 more of our top 35 guys to go out, including Jimmy Johnson, the 48, Bobby Labonte, and then Clint Boyer, who was quick. Just got the report. The track temperature has really come down since this qualifying session started. In fact, we got a lot of shade starting over in turn 3 and 4 right now.
Jimmy Johnson, in his 9th season of Sprint Cup racing, he is the point leader, despite a 31st place finish last week.
And I bet you he and the 24 start side by side.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Just always works out that way.
Or nose to tail, either one. Well, it's going to take more than this lap, which is 30th quickest.
He's probably on the same setup that the 24 was. First lap not so hot. Get it back on this one.
Yeah, they were pretty quick in the first practice. Never really got that quick of a lap in second practice, but he really got off 3 and 4 great, a lot like his teammate did.
Side by side, Johnson 3rd, Gordon 4th, a 21:35.
The racing.
What are you, clairvoyant?
The racing guys just like it that way.
We're not done yet. Bobby Labonte, Clint Boyer, and then knockout qualifying. Welcome back to Richmond. Kyle Busch, David Rudiman quickest as Bobby Labonte in the Racers group. Chevrolet. Labonte scored the first of his 26 Cup poles here, driving for Junior Johnson in 1993.
Sitting up here watching, this is just too comical. The top 3 they're holding on pit road, and so Jeff Gordon was 3rd, and then when Jimmy beat him, they rolled Jeff Gordon's car out of line, and you can go now. The 48
the
beat you.
aggravation just continues.
The 48 beat you.
Dick?
Well, Jeff, going to start side by side with your teammate tomorrow night. What do we make of that?
Well, I'm more excited about having a shot starting in the top 5, if that time holds up. When I saw everybody picking up so much, I just wasn't sure if those last couple of runs we made in practice, if we went in the right direction. But the car was really good and got in the corners deep. And, the 48 didn't have a great day, but he qualified real well. Same old thing for them. And they're going to be tough all night. And so we'll have a lot of fun out there racing with them like we have been. And hopefully it's us battling for the win. I don't think anybody would like to see that more than us.
I think the fans would love to see the 2 of you guys come off turn 4 side by side for the win. Stick around tomorrow night, NASCAR on Fox. You may see that. Who knows?
Thanks, Dick. Clint Boyer was quick in practice. He's never started better than 12th here until tomorrow night. He'll line up 10th with a 21:42.
He had a pretty good run going. Wasn't quite as good in 3 and 4 as he was down in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I lost it on 4. Felt like I had a decent lap there. Sorry.
When Boyer won this race 2 years ago, he started 31st, the worst of any Richmond winner. So he'll line up 10th. Back to Dick Berggren.
With Jimmy Johnson, and as Jeff Gordon walked away, Jimmy Johnson grabbed his water bottle and made a mock effort to throw it at Jeff Gordon. You guys are going to start side by side tomorrow night. What can we expect from you?
It's great. I hope to
actually have it on camera. I mean, everybody wants some controversy. Maybe if I throw my Gatorade out and I don't start something and get everybody talking some more. But, you know, aside from having a little fun there, a great lap for us. We kind of found our way late in practice. Chad made some great decisions on what we needed for qualifying, and I put down. Now, first lap was a little sketchy. Second lap was good, and I got a start spot.
And Jimmy Johnson has won 3 of the last 6 here at Richmond.
Thanks, Dick. Here's the little bit of playfulness you saw earlier. No, I'm not really going to throw it because it's full.
He used a word that my girls use all the time. Sketchy.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy out there.
All right, we're into knockout qualifying. David Stremme in the Air National Guard. Ford first up, 21.87 on lap 1, 21.73 on lap 2. 3 drivers are going home today. Up next, Terry Cook, Tony Raines, Joe Nemechek. Speed's coverage of Sprint Cup qualifying in Richmond, presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 footlong subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. And brought to you by Johnsonville. Sausage is all we do. And by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. Terry Cook in the Atlantic Company Dodge. They have struggled to make races, and a 21.75 on lap 1, going to be the quickest of 2 laps for the former star of the Camping World Truck Series. So Stremme is first and Cook is second in knockout qualifying so far.
Yeah, I mean, my first intuition would be that a 70 is not very good, but when I look at our go home guys in the final practice session, the fastest was Joe Nemechek of all the cars, and he was only 25th quickest as far as all the competitors. So don't know that those are bad times just yet for these guys.
Joe Nemechek won this race from the outside pole 7 years ago.
I think he was driving the 25 car.
Correct.
For Rick Henry.
That's right. 6 top 10 starts here, including that outside pole start. Joe has made every race in 2010. He's 39th in the Sprint Cup standings. First lap better than Stremme or Cook with a 72.
I think you'll see Joe pick it up quite a bit on lap 2. He was by far the fastest of the go homers. In fact, he's flirting with a top 10 run right now.
I'd say I'm like top 5 there.
Oh boy, you saw a glimpse of front row Joe going into turn number 3, but he ends up 11th. Strong effort for a car that did not put on a lot of laps in practice. 21.45, 11th.
Yeah, he drove it in so hard into turn 3, the car actually washed up the racetrack, and I think he just really started losing traction on the exit of the corner.
When you do that, you know you can't wait, though. You've got to get back to the gas if you're going to try to make any kind of time at all. That's why you get all loose and squirrely like that.
Next up is Tony Raines, former star of the ASA Series and the NASCAR Busch Series, trying to make his first start in 2010. He has 9 Cup starts here, 15 in what's now the Nationwide Series, and 2 truck races. Little Joe's Auto Sales Toyota.
You know how you know these cars are sticking to the racetrack pretty darn good? You don't see many of them sideways. I mean, you see them wiggle, you see them move, but you don't see anybody go off in the corner and just absolutely spin out, you know?
21.93. Raines has got to go. You see that green line, that's where Joe Nemechek is. That is not where Raines needs to go to make the race, but to lock in. That is the lock-in point right there where Joe Nemechek is, and what it means is Tony Raines 21.78 will lock in Joe Nemechek, who is 11th.
Now here's what's amazing. Darrell and I talked so much about how many guys we have in the 40s and 50s, but when you look at our go homers, aside from Joe Nemechek, every one of those guys are in the 70s.
21.73, 21.73, 76, 78, just hundreds.
Very close.
Hundreds away from making hundreds.
Georgia's Reed Sorensen started 5th here in 2008 in this race. Finished 12th. He also has 3 top 10s in the Nationwide Series. He's trying to make his 2nd race of 2010 for Braun Racing.
I think he was bad fast in qualifying for the Nationwide race.
second. Outside pole,
Yeah, outside pole, I believe he is.
Yep.
He was 4th of the go home cars in practice earlier today. You can see all the shade that's starting to really get down in turn 3 and 4. That just gains grip.
So now 36th where the green line is. That is the lock-in point, and Sorensen's in. He beats David Stremme. So with a 21.67, he will race tomorrow night.
We're in right now.
And the bottom 3 are Stremme, Cook, and Raines.
So now, as important as qualifying is here, you heard the crew chief tell him 67 we're in. The message there is go ahead and run this second lap, but don't bust your tail doing it.
Well, he picks up to a 63, and that moves him up the board to 33rd.
Yeah, that's just a little bit better pit selection, and you know, makes you feel better too. Plus, you know, the driver can breathe on that second lap.
6 drivers to go. 3 drivers will go home in knockout qualifying. Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. There is your point standing leader, Jimmy Johnson. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, sprint.com/speed. Max Pappas, after a tough qualifying effort, we knew he'd drive it hard into turn 1, and oh boy did he.
Way out there wide, makes that late entry into the corner. You can see the left front wheel
just locked up.
Locked it up, and that's just carried it in a little too much. Cranked a little rear brake in, it might have helped a little bit.
That killed the first lap. The second one was better at a 21.83. It locks David Stremme into the race, and the bottom 3 are now Terry Cook, Tony Raines, and Max Pappas. Mike Bliss on the speedway. This is his 7th trip to Richmond in the Cup car. Talladega was his first top 10 finish in the Cup Series since 2005, driving the 09 for James Finch.
He's in.
Whoa!
He's in though. That first lap locked.
Don't wreck it, man. You're in.
There you go. There you go.
21.66, 35th overall, and Bliss is in. And the bottom 3 remain Cook, Raines, and Pappas.
They got loose that second lap into 3.
He will race tomorrow night.
Now David Gilliland is next. We've talked about how he is just 2 points behind Robbie Gordon as you look at Kyle Busch, who currently is fastest. So Gordon is in and Gilliland is out. What did Robbie Gordon run? Robbie ran a 21.66 and was locked into the field. Let's see how David does. He has to qualify on time, and right now the time to beat is Terry Cook's 21.75.
Shot at Kyle Busch. Just think about it. He raced last night. He's racing tonight. He's going to race tomorrow night. Where's he racing?
I'd say there's a chance he may be racing somewhere Sunday.
Well, when's the truck race?
He's not going to Kansas to run the truck race. I do know that.
Looks like David Gilliland needs to pick it up. Yeah, he's a 21.85. So Gilliland needs to find at least a 10th in the Taco Bell Ford.
This car looked like it had the push loose look down in turn 1 and 2. Didn't turn, didn't want to snap with him just a little bit.
Coming back.
It may be enough here though on lap 2.
Yes, barely. 21.74. Gilliland's in.
Good job.
And at 21.75, Terry Cook is still in the bottom 3 with Tony Raines and Max Pappas.
Mike, the reason we're still seeing cars with trouble off of 2 because the sun is still brightly shining as it sets off of turn 2 over there. But turn 3 and 4, the reason guys are starting to really make up time on that end of the speedway is you can see it's all in shade for the most part.
Well, I tell you one reason Kyle Busch is watching that scoreboard. This car right here, Dave Blaney, we know it, especially at a short track. He has a way of reaching down in that barrel and finding a lot more than you think he can find.
Yeah, he was 3rd at Bristol, and that got a lot of people's attention.
He has a 2nd row start here. Back driving the 77 in 2002. This is his 20th trip to Bristol. We'll see what this Prism Motorsports Camry can do as it broadslides off the corner.
Not good at all on his first lap.
He has to beat 21.75.
The lock up in that left front getting into 3. So he's driving hard, Larry. Loose in. Little brake smoke getting in the corner.
Not enough. 21.93 lap 1. Not quick enough.
Should be a much better second lap. He'll tighten her up.
Didn't get off turn 2 very well. That hurt him all the way down, even though that's a short back straightaway. He locks the left front up, getting in the corner both times in turn 3.
This could be good news for Terry Cook.
I think it is.
And it is. Cook is in at 21.75. Blaney goes home with a 21.84. He is the first driver knocked out.
And that is a huge surprise because normally Dave Blaney finds enough to get in the show. A lot of times jump up there in the top 5 or 10.
Max is saying, man, I beat Blaney.
But Max is not out of the race yet. He is on the bubble right now with a 21.83. Blaney was slower, so Pappas has a little bit of breathing room. The bottom 2, Tony Raines and Max Pappas, with Michael McDowell and Casey Mears to go. McDowell's 3 starts at this track, 29th, 38th, 41st, as he tries to make his 8th race of 2010.
And he was the slowest of the go-homers in that final practice session. His teammate Dave Blaney, we know, is already out of the show for tomorrow night.
That's not a good lap.
McDowell has to beat 21.78. The first lap will not do it. It's over 22 seconds.
You see National Day of Prayer on the hood of the car. That's one of their sponsors for this weekend. Love to see that car get in the race.
Darrell, I don't know that this is even.
Yeah, it's not close.
He needs 3/10.
Not close.
And McDowell is in the bottom 2. Max Pappas goes home. You see Pappas on the left of the screen. His 21.83 falls short. McDowell is a 21.80. That locks Tony Raines into the race.
From a 22.28, Larry, to a 21.80. That's sucking it up right there.
Well, the crew chief told him down the backstretch, got to have some more. Got to go or go home.
Got to wait on this one.
And now we're down to the final car, and it's Michael McDowell or Casey Mears, who has climbed into the Tommy Baldwin car, number 36, for his 15th try at Richmond. Casey trying to make his 2nd race of the season. He was in the show at Bristol.
How unpredictable is qualifying? I don't care who's out there on the racetrack. You see Kyle Busch, he knows it ain't over till it's over, because anybody can pull a surprise.
21.80 is the time to beat. And Mears looks like he is going to handily be in the field in lap 1. He's in. 31st for Casey Mears with a 21.58. And that means that both Prism Motorsports cars, McDowell and Blaney and Max Pappas, will be the cars that head home. And look at Mears on lap 2. He was up to the top 10 going into the corner. And he's going to end up top 15 for Baldwin, 13th for Casey Mears with a 21.45.
That is a very
great
job.
run for them.
Excellent.
Casey Mears needed that. Tommy Baldwin Racing needed that.
Definitely.
Kyle Busch and David Rudiman are the first all Toyota front row since Chicagoland last year. Krista?
2 qualifying sessions today, 2 poles for Kyle Busch. Were you surprised that that speed held? You went out relatively, I guess, mid-pack. Were you surprised it lasted?
A little bit, not too much. You know, we had a great race car in practice, so Dave and the guys did a really awesome job on our M&M's Camry, and you know, real proud to be able to put the Camry on the pole for the first time for Dave, and first time I know for me. I don't win very many poles, so first one here at Richmond. But look forward to tomorrow. You know, I think we've got a pretty good race car as well too. I know there's a couple guys behind us that that'll be pretty good too. So we'll just have to try to hold them off.
We joked about that. You said you don't win many poles, but you win pretty much everything else that you touch. How much does this mean to do this for Dave?
It means a lot. You know, Dave's gone through a lot of criticism so far this year, and I really enjoy working with him, and I feel like we've done a nice job at getting the finishes that we've gotten so far. Yeah, some haven't gone our way. A lot we shouldn't have gotten. So, you know, it's nice to come out here, though. This is one of my best tracks, one of my favorite tracks, and I like coming out here and running well, and so just glad it stuck, and we were able to get a pole.
All right, thanks, Kyle. Congratulations.
It's the first time Kyle Busch has ever won the Cup and Nationwide poles on the same weekend. More from Richmond after this. Kyle Busch has won his first Richmond pole in his 11th race here. He'll start from the pole in the Crown Royal Presents the Heath Calhoun 400 tomorrow night. David Rudiman gets his 5th front row start in his Cup career.
I like that second row.
I'll tell you, that's going to be interesting. Watch those two guys. But we talked about all during this qualifying session. But when you look back there at our go or go home guys, Tony Raines makes the show at a 21.787. Michael McDowell misses it at a 21.803.
16 1/1000ths made the difference of who raced and who went home.
Tell you what, the biggest surprise to me, Denny Hamlin, this has been his racetrack. He's going to start back in the 30th position.
So congratulations to Kyle Busch, the pole winner. We'll see you on Fox tomorrow night with coverage of the Heath Calhoun 400.